Huwag kang magulat kung sa darating na panahon ay ikaw din ang paratangan ng rebelde. Anti-Espanyol, anti-Iglesia. Ang importante, gawin mo ang tama.
Now, is the fire in your heart alive and burning? Well, that's a question to ask yourselves as you dive into the story of three Filipino martyred priests, Padre Mariano Gomez, Padre Jose Burgos, and Padre Jacinto Zamora at this year's Metro Manila Film Festival. And to tell us more about this, well, is none other than Padre Zamora himself, Enchong Dee. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Yes, the fire is burning.
It is. I'm sure it ignited. It was ignited for you when this script and this whole film fell into your lap.
Definitely. It's something that I've been asking for. I've been praying for the past 18 years, 17 years being in the business, every time people would ask, they would ask me like, what's your dream role? And I will say either historical or biopic. And this year the Lord was like, here, both of them, do it.
I mean, it seems to be something that even your fellow actors also have the same sentiment, that this is actually the film that probably helped define, their career, even if they've been in the business for so long. So, tell me how did you come across to do Padre Zamora?
When they first told me that they will do Gomburza, no script yet, they just asked like a tentative date. I was like, let's do it. I want to do it, Sometimes you go back and forth with the producers, what's the script?
Yes.
This one I just said yes.
But maybe you should have asked about the script because you had to learn a lot of Spanish.
But I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed. How
I enjoyed
difficult?
it.
Okay, so how difficult? Was it for you, or maybe the challenges that you had to do for this film, the preparation, the Spanish, and how?
I think simply because MQuest and the JESCOM are so supportive to the point that we have a language coach on the set, we have the Jesuits community on the set, we have historians on the set, that while we were filming, everyone was there to help us. So I feel like 50% of the job was like done by them and just 50% on us. So it was really a collaborative environment when we were shooting it.
Okay, so a little bit about Gomburza. How far back do you guys go in telling the story?
From the start of their, like when their priesthood started, yeah. And then they showed how the inequality when the Filipinos were trying to become priests also, to try to have a little bit of influence, a little bit of power, but of course the Spanish people doesn't like that during that time.
Yeah. What did you realize about your role here playing Padre Zamora? Only because in the history books, when we go through it in school, diba, parang it's not a full chapter, a full book, really. You just get snippets here and there. So what is it? Tell me about your role. What did you discover about him?
I think I enjoyed the fact that it's very humanized. All the characters, all the roles that we played are very humanized in such a way that for my character, Padre Jacinto Zamora, they showed that, yes, he's a priest, he's an educator, but at the same time, he has his gambling pastimes.
Yes.
So it only shows that all of us as humans, we have our light side and we have our dark side.
Which is what got him into trouble, right?
Which is basically so accidental, and he was just there without his knowledge, and then all of a sudden, I'm in the jail.
How true to life is this? Did you guys really stick to, the script, the timeline, and everything, or did you add a little bit of flair and flavor into the?
I think it's safe to say that we tried probably like 90% of, and then the rest is more of like just the visuals and the creative juices of the production. But mostly we really stick to advice of the historians.
What do you think that our viewers will take away as they come across? I mean, as you know, we started, will this ignite, the fire burning in your heart? I mean, is that what you expect our viewers to feel? I mean, you did the movie.
I'd love to. I've always been an advocate of nationalism, patriotism. I think the best way to learn something, especially history, is to entertain them. So with this film, we get to entertain and educate people, especially the young ones.
And so you learned a lot about history. I mean, it ignited the fire in your heart. And on top of that, I mean, you gained so much, Enchong, I think, from this film, experience-wise. You were able, you're under Direk Pepe in this
Pepe
film.
Joke, no?
How was that like? And also, working, with Piolo and your other fellow priests, fellow actors. What was...
Tito Dante Rivero that plays
Magaling daw
Padre
siya. I
Gomez.
mean, he was...
I've always admired him. I worked with him before, and the way he phrased his script is so admirable. And, I just look at him and you just learn something from him. Cedric, I like looking at Cedric because you've seen him achieved his dream for this role. And Piolo, it's funny because I was telling him, you know what, I've always wanted to work with you, but in this film, I worked with him, but he was already in the coffin. So I was like, I don't think I can consider this as working with you. So, but everyone from all the cast, everyone was so supportive and fun to work with.
Okay, well, speaking of Piolo, we do have a soundbite. I was lucky enough to be able to speak with him about his role, which he actually says initially, I mean, he just did, out of a favor for Direk. So let's take a quick listen on that.
It all was happening at the same time. And he said, Peach, I don't have anybody else in mind. I need you to do Pedro Pelaez because you look like him, you can act like him, and I need you for this role. I played the mentor, and then little did I know I was gonna speak Spanish. That was really hard. I mean, one of the toughest things I had to do because I was in front of all my co-actors. I was not presiding, but I was defending my case for the revolution. Anyway, so I had to study my Spanish lines, and I had a tutor right beside me. Brain freeze. I mean, it was hard, but after I was able to pull it off, I said, yes. And I told my director, you owe me one.
O sige, Enchong, let's relive. If you want to relive your Spanish days in yung mga ano.
I just remember saying something like, por supuesto que no? Something like that. Like, while he was gambling. But it's funny that he was saying that because I remember the night before shooting his Spanish scenes, he was so confident, he studied everything and all that. And then the day of the shoot, he was like, I heard, because he was on the set, I wasn't. He was like, he laid down on the floor. I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this. I'm so dried up. But I was like, you know what? It's why you're Piolo.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And then, of course, you had to master your Spanish. What other things that you encountered during or filming this Gomburza? You had several locations. You had to build a set as well, or?
Yes, but also the locations that they chose was already like visually amazing.
Because this has been in the works, diba, for so many years.
Well, originally it was supposed to be back in 2 years ago, 2021, wherein we were celebrating the 150th year of Gomburza. But because of the pandemic, it was pushed. But, we always have time to celebrate, especially our heroes.
Wait, was there a common knowledge, or something that you learned that we did not even, figure out? I mean, what is the new discovery that you had about not only of your character, but the other characters as well, and maybe the whole revolution that happened?
One, for my character, I guess I didn't realize that, to the point that when you're in that situation, you'll really go crazy, especially when you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
That's something that was very personal to me. For the whole film, I think it's really how much we fought for our freedom as a country. We took more than 300 years to fight for our freedom, and I just have this bigger appreciation to our Philippine heroes simply because we're enjoying this. Everything that we're enjoying right now is because of them.
Yeah, which is quite timely also that, some people like to see it. I mean, we read it, but something that's different from actually seeing it come to life on the big film and you're there. And so, yung mga kabataan ngayon, they're able to really understand, all the pain and suffering that you had to go through.
And I think that's also the goal of the JESCOM, is to bring our history, our heroes closer to the younger generation so that, we don't have misconception or easily persuaded. So I'm very fortunate that I get to play someone that lived before, and then hopefully, we can create more stories for our heroes.
I mean, you said when we first started this conversation that, this was probably one of your dream roles, After this, nagawa mo na to. So, ano ba yung mga ibang dream roles na gusto mong gawin? I mean, this year was quite a busy year for you. Yeah. You also joined the Metro Manila Film Fest, sa summer.
Yeah.
And you played a transgender in that.
Yeah.
And now you are a priest.
Yeah.
Okay, so quite diverse, quite different characters that you played this year. And then you had Topak, and you had so many, different
I'm having
roles.
goosebumps.
The fisherman.
Yeah, the fisher.
The fisher, you also did that.
I'm very blessed. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lord. But also at the same time, it's something that I've decided this year.
Okay,
like I wanna keep making films. I wanna step back when it comes to doing TV, but I wanna keep doing movies. So for next year, I'm so excited because there's so much stuff in line, and I wanna visit here again once we start, talking about that film. But for the first quarter of next year, I'll be doing my first ever Brillante Mendoza film. So it's something that I've been looking forward to.
How did you get to be a part of that? How does one get to be part of Brillante Mendoza? How did I get to be part of his life?
I'm direct messaging Direct Brillante. I'll be like, it's my dream to work with you. Can you please hire me?
Pwede ba yun? Sige. You'll be getting a lot of messages. But how did you come across this role?
The one that I'll be shooting.
Yeah, the one we'll be shooting next year.
I think manifesting and praying really works, because I really told him when every time I would stumble upon him, I would tell him like, Derek, you know what? It's my dream to work with you, and I feel like that's my script to all the directors that I want to work with, which is
it works.
It works.
It works.
Prayer works.
There you go. And of course, your hard work, determination, sacrifice, being a fellow swimmer. I'm sure, yes, let's go unite. I'm sure you're able to put all that you've learned, you being so dedicated and so focused into your craft. So we wish you all the best. Good luck to you and the Metro Manila Film Fest happening this December 25, and we'll get to see you. And of course, the parade.
Yes.
Sama ka sa parade.
Yes.
What's so special about your parade ng Gomburza? Can you share with us a little bit before I let you go?
The most exciting part is we'll do it in Kamanava area, which is it's been a while since we went out of EDSA, we went out of the circle, so I'll be joining everyone tomorrow on the parade, December 16.
Well, we look forward to seeing more of you here on New Day. Thank you so much for being with us today, Enchong.
Thank you so much for inviting.